Hey, what's up guys? Nuno here. D5 Render just released their biggest update so far, the version 2.0. This new update comes with a lot of changes, starting with a completely redesigned user interface. They listened to a lot of the features the community was asking for, and in today's video I'll go through my top 11 features of D5 Render 2.0. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. So let's start with feature number 1, which is redesigned user interface. As you can see, D5 Render 2.0 completely redesigned the user interface. Now we have on the left side, we have the scene list, we have the assets that we are using in our scene. On the top now we have a better menu system as well. So for the file, for edit, view, all of this is now on this left side. On the top bar now we have quick access to lighting. We have a new path tool for both character, vehicle and vegetation. And we also have the particles here on this top menu. On the right side, now we can find the environment, which you can select both HDRI and Geo and Sky. So I'm just scrolling here through the different types. And you have the properties of the light, and you also have properties for weather. Then if you go to here to the tab Effect, you will find the properties for the post-processing and for the LUTs as well. On the top here you will find icons to render the image, video or render queue. The render queue is when you have several images that you want to render, you select all of them and then you can go have a coffee and just leave your computer rendering all of these images. And now on this viewport top left corner and on the top right, you'll find quick access to tools and to camera settings, display settings like the quality and even navigation settings as well. So feature number 2, it's path tool. So with this new path tool, you can now draw paths for vegetation, for characters, for vehicles, and you can even make them curved. You can control the offset, the direction, you can randomize the size, and you can even duplicate the paths that you previously created. So let me just do a quick demonstration of this. So I'm going to show you the path tool for characters and vehicles. So let's go here, and on this road, let's go to path, and we have here vehicle. We put here this window. So we have here some vehicles, so let's select a couple of them. Oops. Okay. I think this is enough. And now we can simply click like this, start from here and goes until here, and here it will start making a curve to maybe this area here. And when you are done, you can just press done, or you can still edit and you can still move if you feel it was a little bit to the front, you can still move this. Okay, now when you press done, you'll have a lot of properties like if it's a single lane, if it's 2-car lane, so you can select here if it's a dual lane. So all of these properties, you can select the width. So in this case, it probably will be about here. You can select the density of the cars, more cars, less cars. You can increase the speed. And so it's quite easy to just select all of this. You can even, as I said, duplicate, and you have another lane. And then you can select here different types of cars. And you can edit this one, and let's say make this one till here, and maybe this one goes here, and something like this. And so this is for cars, but you can also do it for characters. So let's go again here to this area, and we can just select here character, and we can select a couple of people here, and again just drag like this. You can make curves here as well. And when you're done, You can select here the density, the width of this path. So for example, if you don't want this model, you can remove it or replace for another. And you can still move this path to a different place. And so this is for the vehicle and character path tool. And by the way, if you would like to get more in-depth knowledge of D5 render, I have my D5 render course. I'm always updating it with new content and changes the software may have. I'll leave a link in the top right corner and also in the description below this video. So now let me show you the vegetation path. So with this vegetation path, we can go here and on the draw vegetation, you can select path. And now we can select a couple of trees. So I'm just randomly selecting some that I have here already downloaded, and this one and this one. Now I'm simply going to drag like this again, from here, here. Okay, something like this. I'll click done. And now I can select the number of items. So it can be like a more thick forest. The direction, I can randomize direction, randomize spacing, random offset, the size, and randomize the size. Okay. And so this is the path. I can still edit the path. So let me make about here. And I can continue adding more. I'll simply go here to the path again. And let's make one more like this. And maybe like this. Done. Number of items. So you can see that quickly you can start adding a very thick forest with a lot of vegetation assets. And if you don't like, you can just simply remove it. And there's also a new tool that allows you to quickly add vegetation, which is the scatter tool. You can select the surface and select the trees and then just click, and it will populate all of that area with all of these elements. And now for feature number 3, it's a new weather system, clouds. And so now if you go to the Geo and Sky, this works with Geo and Sky, you will find here on the right side cloud. So if I disable it, I don't have any clouds. I enable it back. Now I have clouds. I can define the amount of clouds I want. I can define the speed they are going and also the direction. Okay, so now you can have a more dynamic sky as well. And also this comes with a feature number 4, which is wind. On the right side, you'll find here now saying wind. We can go here and activate. And when you activate, we'll find these properties, strength and direction. So if we increase, now we are not seeing anything because we don't have any elements with the wind. So let's go here to the assets. And now we will find a new icon on these assets. Here on the top left corner, you will find this new icon, which means that this tree can be animated with the wind. So let's select this one and let's place it here. You can also select another one, maybe this one. There's wind as well. And maybe this one. So now you see that these trees are being animated with the wind. If we increase here the wind, so we see it's stronger, we can change the direction. Or we can make just a little bit of wind. And this way it will become just the leaves blowing a little bit with the wind. So it's a very nice addition to this new version 2.0. Now, as for feature number 5, it's the grass material. So before, in previous versions of D5, you only had the assets of grass that you can place on your scene. But now you can do this with the grass material as well. And so let me show you how you can do it. I have here this surface, so I'm going to select the material of it. And instead of custom here, I'm going to select the new grass. Okay, now we can see here the grass. Right now it's all gray because we don't have any texture. We can basically change the color here on base color to something else. So we could go here and select a greenish color and apply to it. Or we can choose a base color map. So I selected my texture. And now let's have a look at the parameters. We can change the type of normal. We can increase the specularity. So it will be a more wet surface, for example. We can reduce here the roughness. So we can keep it more like this, more or less, for example. And we can reduce as well the height of this grass. And we can go here to random UV. And this helps to break a little bit the tiling when you have a texture that has a lot of repetition. So this way it will help to break that. And we can define here the stretch as well. And you see that now quickly we have grass material. We don't have to all the time place all of the assets in the scene. Now for feature number 6 is supported up to 16K for photos and panoramas. So you heard me right, 16K. Now you can render 16K with D5 render. And just to show you how important this is a render at 4K resolution. When we zoom in, let's say to 100%, this is 100% the size of the render. So this is a 4K render. Now let's move to 16K. So this is the same 16K render. Now if we zoom to 100%, this is 100%. You can see all of these details. So if now we compare both, this is 100% at 4K, this is 100% at 16K. So you can get much more details, or even takes just parts of the render has a detail for your presentation. With the 16K render, it will work really just fine. And this scene that you are seeing here with 16K, in my computer it took about 10 minutes to render this. So it was still quite fast to render this image. As for feature number 7, it's material library. They added a lot of new assets, including new animals like fish, birds, butterflies, cats, dogs. They added a lot of high quality interior furniture. They have more particles, more nature as well, like low poly trees, stumps, rocks, fallen leaves, and also you have new outdoor elements as well. As for feature number 8, it's the track scene resources and FPS tool. So now you can go here to these three lines in the menu and go to view, and you'll find the new ones saying show statistics. When you click it, you'll see here on the top how much of the GPU is being used, what is my frame rate currently, the lights, the models, and the faces that I have here on my scene. So for example, if I remove some of the trees, you can see my FPS increased a little bit because I was probably with the wind. So let me disable this wind. And also this new shader, of course, it's a little bit heavier on the scene. So if I change to a custom one, you can see that I got higher FPS now as well. And so this is quite useful when you want to see where you can still improve your scene performance. Feature number 9 is search and favorite. So now you can go to the assets, and here you'll find a new field which is search assets. So let me go, for example, to characters here, and I'm going to search here walking. And so it will show me all the characters that have the name walking. And I can even go here and you'll find a heart, and this heart makes your asset favorite. And when you do this for a couple of them, you can see that now it's adding here favorite. I can even remove here now this search query, and if I go to favorite, I'll see the assets that I favorite. So this way you can quickly access the best assets that you find here on this library. Now with feature number 10, It's the temperature parameter for emissive materials. So now if you make a material emissive, so for example, let's make this one here just for an example, and we select emissive. Now we have one extra parameter. Instead of just the color, so let me just increase here to 5, okay. So instead of just the color, we can add temperature. And so this way, if you put, for example, 4000, you can see the temperature changing, or this way. And so with this temperature, it will be more accurate with real-world lights and their physical properties. And lastly, feature number 11. It's performance improvements, and I'll speak specifically on the optimized artificial light sources. So now with large scenes with a lot of lights, the scene will not lag. Now you can add up to 1024 artificial lights or emissive materials in the same viewport. So this is a lot of lights that you can work and still have a great performance with D5 Render 2.0. What do you think of this new version? Have you tried the newest features? Let me know in the comments below. Also, I'd like to remind you that you can get access to my D5 Render course. I'll leave a link in the top right corner and also in the description below this video. And I hope you liked this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.